Welcome to Struggle, Grow, Succeed podcast. My name is Charles Baldwin. Over the next several podcasts, we're going to be reading from my book, Never Give Up. I want you to come back every week or every podcast so that you can hear each chapter as we go through the entire book. All rights are reserved, and no part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means electronic, mechanical, photocopy, recording, scanning, or other, except for brief quotations in critical reviews or articles without the prior written permission of the publisher. Copyright 2021 by Charles Baldwin. Struggle, Grow, Succeed. Thank you for listening to the reading of Never Give Up. Chapter 1, Struggle. I'm sure you've seen many acronyms, quotes, and other types of sayings if you've been on this journey of self-improvement for any length of time at all. If you're reading this book, I would say that you do have an interest in improving your life in at least a couple of areas. I feel like the best way to start this book is to define or explain the subtitle to you, Struggle, Grow, Succeed. These three combined words come after the word that I mentioned in the introduction, change. It is change that generates these actions that will bring forth a new you, someone that you've always wanted to be but never thought that it was possible. It is so easy to throw positive and inspiring quotes around and post them on Facebook and Instagram to see what kind of response you get. The power is not in knowing or repeating these quotes and sharing them with others. The real power comes from experiencing them or living them. I hope this book will inspire you to become a person of action. Do some soul searching as you read, and then allow these words to cause a transformation within you. You can reach your full potential and be the person that you were meant to be. How long have you wanted to change? Are you tired of living the same boring and uneventful life? Are you the person who refuses to be a shadow of someone else? Step out of the shadow and into the light. Cast your own shadow. To do this, determine in your mind that you are ready to change. After, and only after you change, will you experience the first stage of the circle called struggle. To talk about this word struggle, exploring the true meaning of the word is extremely important. When most people think of the word struggle or struggling, they immediately start thinking about all the hard times they are having or have had in the past. They think about how everything seems to be going wrong. They think of how everybody seems to be against them, or maybe they don't like them. They think about how difficult it is to pay their bills, or perhaps how bad they hate their job. Their definition might be how their business is failing, and that is not exactly what they had envisioned. Perhaps it is the person who has an addiction that controls their life. Many people use sickness or a handicap as the definition to struggle. Think of the word struggle. Stop listening for a moment and write down your definition of struggle and what it means to you. The definition to the word struggle is this. Verb. Make forceful or violent efforts to get free of restraint or constrictions. This definition is a total contradiction to what many people consider struggle to be. The following is what struggle is not. See if you're experiencing one of these and have called it struggle. Having a hard time or being broke, being talked about or ridiculed, having worry or doubt, having a bad month at work, having a car that is broke down, being sick, being depressed, being addicted. Struggle is the fight to overcome these things that might perhaps be in your life. You must first identify what it is that keeps you down. What is it that keeps you from getting what you want in life? Identify what keeps you from being healthy, from getting a new car, or from having new friends. What has kept you from getting that promotion at work or the raise that you have needed? What is it that keeps you depressed or addicted? What keeps you from having a good relationship with your spouse? What keeps your spiritual life from growing? What is it? To struggle is to try extremely hard to do, achieve, or deal with something that is difficult or that causes problems. It is to move with difficulty or with great effort, to try to move yourself or an object or anything that you have in your life that you do not want by making a lot of effort. What have you done to get those negative things out of your life? What actions have you taken, and what are you doing right now to change those things that you say are holding you back? Take a moment and answer some of these questions. You must try and then act, changing what you are doing for the real struggle to even kick in. You must make a change before you reach the level of struggle. I'm sure that you have heard the following quote: insanity is doing something over and over again, but expecting a different result. Albert Einstein. So stop complaining, whining, blaming all your ills on the world, on others, or the economy. Do not blame your boss or your spouse, the president, or the way you were raised. It is now time for you to stop blaming and looking for excuses and just look in the mirror. Identify what in your life needs to change and then start taking steps to make that change. Until you acknowledge what needs to change and start doing something to make it change, you will not realize what struggle truly is and what a huge benefit, yes, I said benefit, that struggle can bring to your life. Ask yourself this question: are you truly in a struggle, or have you been making excuses? If you are fighting to overcome, then take pride in yourself. You are on the way. Never be ashamed of your struggle. You should not run from it. Struggle is something that you should desire. It is something that you should be running to. When you are truly in a struggle, that means your life is getting ready to go forward to the next level. Those things which have held you down or have held you back from being your best self are getting ready to be eliminated from your life. Come on, struggle. I'm ready to try. I am ready to make a change in my life. You know, you were put here on this earth for a reason, not just to breathe the air and eat the food, not just to drink the water and take up space. You were put here to make an impact on your family, on your friends, and on your coworkers. It is very possible that you can even make an impact on this world. The choice is yours. Nobody can do this for you. There is no one else that can make this decision but you. It is up to you and you alone to change your life. Yes, there are others that can encourage you, teach you, train you, and even motivate you. But unless you decide to act, all the help you get will mean nothing. When you are truly in a struggle, it means that you have an opposition. It means that you are in a battle and that you are pushing and reaching. It means that you are climbing and clawing and that you are truly fighting for something that you desire or something that you desire to get free from. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. End quote. Our great nation and most of the world has been through some real struggle as I write this book. The year 2020 has brought about a pandemic caused by COVID-19, a virus that originated in China. Many have lost their jobs and their businesses. The strongest economy in the world has now been brought to our knees by this evil disease. Millions have contracted this virus, and hundreds of thousands have died, and we are only halfway through this storm. This pandemic has caused many of us to take a long, hard look at our lives. The question of where we were then and where we are now, and more importantly, where we are going, lingers in our minds. When you're in the middle of a struggle, it becomes a war against things that are invisible. It is a war within our minds. There are two ways to go in war. You either fight and become greater than you have ever been, or you surrender and crumble under defeat. As we sit in our homes waiting for this storm to pass, schools and universities are all closed. Only essential places of businesses are being allowed to stay open. We are told to only visit our close family members and to stay away from the elderly who are most vulnerable to this virus. We are required to wear a mask upon entering any public place and to practice social distancing, which means stay 6 feet from every person we encounter. Shaking hands and hugging are all actions that can no longer be done in safety. What a sad and challenging time we now exist in. This truly defines the word struggle to those who are fighting to win and overcome this grave challenge. On the winning side of this struggle is the fact that many people choose to fight and be overcomers in this battle. There are those who have drawn closer to their family and their God. Many others have even started new businesses from their homes. Taking on the struggle and using it to become better is what must be done to win. Become a better father, a better mother, a better brother, son, or daughter. Become a better employee or a better leader. It is through crisis that true leadership is born. When you are in a war, you will experience fear. The choice of fight or flight becomes very real. To fight is to advance and win. To take flight is to just quit and lose. Welcome the struggle and then attack it, because on the other side of struggle is growth. Quote, life is not about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Vivian Green. Take just a few minutes to reflect on fighting through the struggle. Write down some actions that you can take that will enable you to win. As you list these actions, be prepared to do them every day. Sometimes you will need to say no to things that will not serve you, serve your family, or serve God. In your list, write down what you will say yes and do, and then what you will say no to. I would like to share with you one of my struggles just to bring true definition of struggle to life. Here I am, about to put my money where my mouth is, about to step out on pure faith, about to quit a job where I've been employed for 10 years and a career that stretches for over 19 years. As careers go, I made good money as a sales training manager working for a car dealership. Even though I'm getting closer to full retirement age, I still have a family that I must support. This decision that I am making is one of the biggest decisions that I've ever had to make. I know that if I don't make this move now, I am afraid that I will never be able to. This year, I received the biggest tax refund that I've ever gotten before. With that refund, I took $4,500 and paid for a place to stay in the Turks and Caicos Islands. The islands where we have decided to go is called Grand Turk. It is a small island that is only 7 miles long and 2 miles wide, with a population of only around 3,500 humans. Now, I could have chosen many locations for that amount of money, but Grand Turk is a special place. Not only do I love it there, so does my wife and children. We have visited Grand Turk twice as a family while on a cruise. I've been there 2 other times earlier in my life on missionary trips. My first time in Grand Turk was with my mother and some members of our church. The small island was poor at that time without even having the luxury of running water. It was around 1976 and I was a young teenager. This was my first time in a foreign country for me and I was so excited. The second trip was around 1984 and there had been some changes to the island, but the people there were still poor. Many things that we take for granted were still difficult for the islanders to obtain. On this second trip, my ex-wife and my oldest daughter, who was only 2, went with me and a group of young people from Happy Valley Baptist Church. This church has always been my second home church. Now on my third trip, I get to go and spend a month with my family in Grand Turk. There are many wonderful things about this island, but what always stood out to me was how my stress level always decreased and such a strong sense of peace came over my soul. I knew that I was in one of the biggest struggles of my life, and this would be a good place for us as a family to reset our minds, finish this book, and set our goals for the life to come. My home church, Acorn House of Prayer, located in the mountains of Nantahala National Forest, was pastored by my parents. This small church had purchased a small lot on Grand Turk to build a church. My parents lived on this island for a year, working and building the church that is named Echoes of Calvary. Although my parents have now passed, Their legacy lives on in Grand Turk, where the island people still speak their names with love and respect. A native islander, Vernon Malcolm, has been the pastor of this church for many years. For all these reasons and a few more, we chose Grand Turk to be the place where the next chapter of our lives would begin. My family needed a reset after the last year of turmoil in our country. The pandemic and interruption of a normal way of life had taken a toll on our family, our country, and even the entire world. This had been a year for many people to fall behind in their goals and dreams or become stronger because of it. We chose the latter. How did this year affect your life and the lives of your family? How did it affect your job? I know there are many sad stories in our country where families have entered some of the biggest struggles of their lives. A true struggle will only have two outcomes in the end. Which one have you chosen? At the time I write this book, there's a total unrest in our America. It seems we are split right down the middle in our belief system. Our government is in turmoil, and the threat of socialism is all around us. There's an all-out attack on our freedom of speech and on the very Constitution that this great country is built on. To overcome struggle means to grow. In just a few weeks, I will conquer my fear. I will retire from my career and discover what my second mountain of life holds in store. What I will not do, however, is stop selling. I will not stop training and learning. I will not stop moving forward. I will use the skills that I have learned over the last 30 years to propel me forward to be able to serve others and help them through my past experiences. Teaching and training have always been a gift that I have, and I know that gifts and callings are without repentance. Whatever gift or calling that you have is not meant for you to keep to yourself. There are people all around the world that need what you have. That is why we must grow. That is why we must share. To help others is the purpose of having gifts and talents bestowed upon us. Going to Grand Turk will help me establish goals and get prepared for the work that I must do in the future. I will have less stress, be in a gorgeous part of the world, and be surrounded by my family. My parents' memories will be with me, and I will be in the presence of the work they started many years ago. What better way there is to do a reset? I don't know. My point is this: if you want to overcome a struggle, then you must set yourself up to have a chance to win. Be in the right place, be around the right people, and have a mindset to win. There will be battles ahead, but you will find that your strength and determination will be found in the valleys of your life. Take a chance, face the challenge, and let faith overcome your fear. If you would like to purchase a hard copy of my book, Never Give Up, go to strugglegrowsucceed.com, or you can contact us by email at strugglegrowsucceed@gmail.com.